We go to a primetime news follow-up now. Reflections this evening on the gruesome 2011 murder of a woman and her daughter in Lauriston, St. Catherine. A relative told the court yesterday that the family is still grieving. TVJ's Vashon Brown also visited Lauriston this morning and now reports.
A tree hangs over what's left of the house where a mother and daughter were brutally murdered. 40-year-old Charmaine Coverratcher and her daughter Joeth Lynch were chopped, shot and beheaded. We visited Lauriston, St. Catherine on Thursday, just one day after 4 men received the life sentences for the killings.
Now, this is where the incident happened in 2011. Years later, fear is still gripping the community. Residents and family members of the 2 women did not want to be interviewed, but they say they feel justice has been served. In a victim impact statement yesterday, one relative said the women were robbed of their dignity and murdered like criminals.
That relative also told the court that, quote, "At the moment, I don't go to St. Catherine at all. I stay clear. I'm paranoid. I don't sleep well. I've lost so much weight. I'm unable to eat meat with chopped bone because the image is still fresh in my mind," end quote. 29-year-old Kemar Riley was sentenced to life in prison and will have to serve 52 years before becoming eligible for parole. 37-year-old Adrian Campbell and 33-year-old Fabian Smith will have to serve 44 years before becoming eligible for parole, while 28-year-old Rashane Golson will have to serve 46 years before becoming eligible for parole. In other words, by the time they're eligible for parole, they will all be senior citizens. Sanjay Dukali, another accused, was freed last month after the court upheld a no-case submission. Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn says this case is a demonstration that actions have consequences.
What is also very important is that Jamaica sees that you have the administration of justice where we have the capacity to be transparent and for members of the public to see that once you have cogent, credible, reliable evidence being presented, then justice can indeed be done.
Trial Judge Justice Vivienne Harris said these murders were meant to create a state of fear and terror in Lauriston and the wider community. She added that, quote, "The chilling messages that were sent reinforced the infama fided culture which is prevalent in our society and which is calculated to insulate criminals in this country by providing them with security of silence so that they can continue their unlawful conduct," end quote.
For those persons who would want to say it is because I was afraid of the gang, why I participated in this most heinous event. As a matter of law, duress is not a defense in law to murder. So that will not avail you.
The trial judge also outlined why she went outside of the sentencing guidelines. Justice Harris said, quote, "It is my view that if I follow the sentencing guidelines, the sentences imposed will not be appropriate and so disproportionate to the crime that it will outrage and shock the public conscience." The trial judge also listed the general aggravating factors in the case, which included the fact that the murders were premeditated, the number of perpetrators, the types of weapons used, guns and machetes, the ages of the victims, the extreme violence, as well as the way in which the men gained access to the house. They kicked off the front and back doors. The 2 women were killed on July 19, 2011. Vashon Brown, TVJ News.